Hi everyone, I'm Rachel, your host today. We are back with IWA podcast. IWA, in short, Women for Women Association. Women come together for real talk, personal growth, and peer support. We are a woman-focused community where every woman will be able to lean on each other together and make a difference to the world. Follow us on our respective channels to get regular updates about our community. Welcome everyone back to our episode of Dare to Dream, Live to Fly, IWA video podcast series. I'm very honored to have an old friend of mine as our guest today. Let's give a round of applause and welcome Ginie. Yay!
Hello.
Hi Ginie. So Ginie
Hi,
and I
hi.
go way back after graduation from high school. We went totally separate path basically. So am I right to say that you are in the design and jewelry industry right now?
Yeah. It's more on the design perspective, but it's not jewelry design, but how products are displayed.
So when I was like looking through your LinkedIn profile, because we never really talk about like our job
Yeah,
title when we go out or hang out, right? So it's mentioned that you are a visual merchandiser in
yeah.
the design industry. So what's a visual merchandiser and how's your usual day like? Because I remember you told me before that your usual day it's like going to zoo, going to MBS. It sounded so much fun. So can you tell us more?
Yeah, sure. My role as a visual merchandiser is basically to design how products are being displayed. In the jewelry industry, it's easier to say that I'm a makeup artist of the brand to look at how products are being displayed in the retail store, be it in the window display format or digital screens, or how to style products in the shop front. Basically, what I will tell people is that other than the product itself, the rest of the design in the stores is actually managed by me. So my usual day for visual merchandiser is not only to visit all the attractions, but because mainly the company profit is from tourists, so most of the our stores are located in tourist attractions like Marina Bay Sands and the Botanic Gardens, as well as Gardens by the Bay. I spend half of my time in the office doing artistic directions. It's not as interesting as everybody thinks. So sometimes there will be a lot of like paperwork, strategy plannings, and designing some graphics related ones. But half of the day, half of my time actually, I will try my best to visit the stores to observe how people shop and to ensure that the products are well displayed in the store. So correct, you're right. The environment could be very fun working in tourist attraction because travelers are always happy and talking to them is enjoyable.
So it sounds like there's like half of the time you actually spend on site.
Yeah,
Spending on
yeah,
site it means that you can't really work right now. Am I right to say because of the
yeah.
pandemic? So how
Right.
in this like era of pandemic and even though circuit breaker just
Mhm.
we just ended our circuit breaker, but I'm sure that um places where large crowd gather together,
Mm,
you still can't go. So how had this whole pandemic affected your life? And
mm.
does it affect your job? Do you have to now spend the whole day at home working on your paperwork right now?
Yeah. I could say, as everybody is aware, the luxury retail business has largely been affected by the COVID-19. My job scope actually has not changed so much because everything is just move from the retail physical stores to the digital platform. I'm still looking at how products are presented online, and interestingly, I find that that is something that I want to explore because um, this is some kind of new technology for us to try on, and that will help in terms of during this COVID-19 period, and even after COVID-19 period, I feel the user experience might be even better after the stores are open.
This sounds like a job that requires a lot of creativity. And is
Yeah.
that one of the biggest hurdle, or is there like something even bigger, like even bigger challenges that you have faced in your career? So, and how do you cope with
Um,
these challenges that you face?
the challenges is always the different shopping patterns that people have been experiencing along the years. Back then, like 2 years ago, it's you I can tell in the settings right now, it is rare to see in the shopping malls people having a lot of shopper bags in their hands and walking around the mall. But they are expecting more on the experience base and more product knowledge and some of the um, let's say for example in jewelry, they need to know where the stones come from, they need to know what's the story behind of the collection itself, and they need to know how to style a certain jewelry. And once they have gathered all this information, they have the freedom to buy elsewhere in a cheaper rate, or they have the freedom to buy it online or from a distributor or competitor from other company. So the challenges is always how to grasp that and how to engage them in a more interesting way to let them spend with us physically in the stores to have more services, be it services or user experience that is not given by other people and other brands.
Exactly, like just keep on innovating, and by innovation, a company can stay on as the top of an industry. So for people that like women out there that like to pursue a job, a career in the same industry as yours, do you have any advice? Like what should they do? Like how can they join you as a
I feel
designer?
I feel that to be honest, to be a visual merchandiser, you have to love shopping because that's a habit. Because to me, you have to pay attention to little details around you, and be it online shopping or physical window shopping itself. For example, I have I actually I'm being a shopper myself to understand how shopper needs, and I'm being very curious about things around me. Sometimes I could stop by in front of a storefront looking and staring at a beautiful window display to try to figure out how things works and what makes it beautiful. And sometimes I'm not even paying attention to what product are they selling, just to look at all those little details. Why is it so nice, or why is it blinking in such way? To me, it's just me being curious about the things I love.
That's really nice. Like find something that you are that you are passionate
Mm,
in. So I think that's like the summary of your advice, right? To find what you are where your
mm,
passion lies. And um like if for your case you like shopping, then designing a shop, it's basically like a dreamland to you. If someone likes to take like roller coaster, maybe working in adventure park is something for them. So
yeah.
pardon if whatever that I say right later on, it sounded a bit ignorant, but I always associated design industry to be woman dominated. Am I right to say so? Is there more women?
Mm, mm. Actually, I do agree. Sorry for the men. But interestingly, more than 80% of my teammates, which is not intentional, they are female. And my explanation would be a woman actually will know what women want. So especially in the fashion jewelry industry, especially the target audience is mostly female. Female buying power is more. And we think that, to me, my opinion is that having more women as a teammate will actually largely help when it comes to brainstorming ideas.
That's really nice. Like, however, do you find any like gender issue in the case of your industry, or it's pretty equal in stand of like men and women in this industry?
Mm, I would say yes and no, because especially men who are interested in working in jewelry industry, they could be as detailed as a woman, and sometimes they could do things that is surprising, and their perspective might not be at a women perspective, but they are like a third person looking at, like, we think that women should do this, why not we try other angle. And sometimes we as women could be sometimes very focused on a certain things, and we couldn't even look around
I think that's a
us.
very great example when you have um, a balance between male and female. You tend to
Mm,
have view from two different world. Like for example, in
that's
your
right.
industry, we as women we might be super uh, like needy teedy about like these small details and just so
Yeah.
fixated at a certain part, and when someone come over and tell you off and say, hey, you shouldn't do this anymore, you should look at the big picture. I think that's a very good
Mhm.
thing that we have in the design industry, and certainly something that we should advocate and bring it to other industry where there is say a huge discrepancy in, or like huge gap between male and female. So going back to, because now people know that we go back way like long time ago, right?
Mm.
Uh when I first know you, what I have thought about you, it's you're super confident. So can you
Thanks.
tell me like how do you get this confident? Like where do you draw this energy to feel your confident, and um what's your advice to women that is shy out there looking to gain their confidence?
I would say thanks, Rachel.
No problem.
And the actually the only way for me is to be honest to yourself. And sometimes I could be hard on myself, to reflect and understand what's my weakness like. And the thing I'm hard on myself is that I'll make myself easily feel uncomfortable, because the more uncomfortable I am, I don't think that's the way to avoid, but to face it and try to practice and just whack. So for example, I'm scared of water. So I tried to learn swimming and just try to dump inside the water. And I remember that was like last year, when I was having a break, and I realized that I'm really not comfortable with myself in just submerging my head inside the water. And but then I feel, if I don't, I told myself, if I don't conquer that, I will never do that. So when you keep practicing and you're good at it, you get the confidence naturally. It comes naturally.
That's a very good advice over there. Like to summarize what you have said, basically it's to step out of our comfort zone. By practicing, you gain experiences, and these experiences will just fill your confidence. Oh, so that's like almost at the end of our podcast. But before we go, something very casual that we always do to anyone that we interview with. It's our IWA three golden questions session. Super
Go ahead.
casual. Don't be nervous about it. But I'll be asking you three different questions. So the first question: if there is no more food in the world, but you get to choose one food to eat for the rest of your life, what food would that be?
It's so random, but
Yeah,
then
right?
I'm gonna answer. Yeah, I'm gonna answer it's egg.
Why?
I, I'm not sure if like anybody has thought about that, but I think like eggs are pretty versatile and adaptable like me, because it could be a dessert, and also um it could be savvy, like salty, and also it could be a dessert. So to me, if that's the only thing that comes into my mind, if that's the only thing I can live for the rest of my life, that would be for sure eggs.
The answer definitely proves that you are super creative. I have never thought about egg before, and I suddenly just realized that with egg, you can actually make more than, I don't know, like 100 different dishes out there.
Yeah, man.
So
You can make
yeah, sorry.
you can make souffle, can beat them up to make it into like a puffy kind of thing. So there's different texture about it, depends on how you process it.
We should
Why
definitely
not?
start a cooking show right now. So
Yeah,
moving on
boy.
to the moving on to the second question. Um, if there is only one word to describe yourself, what word would that be?
Mischievous.
Oh, why? Have you done anything?
No, I'm just that since young I've been the youngest in the family, and I'm always the talkative one in the super quiet family. And I'm the one who has been like jumping around like a monkey,
I
like
mean, our zodiac sign is
climbing windows.
monkey, right? Oops.
Yeah, I
People
am
will know
so
how old
red.
we are right now. But
Ouch. Ouch.
I wouldn't have thought that would be the word to describe you. Now we know. Now we know. The last question. If you only have one day left in the world, how would you spend that one day?
I would say a boring answer, which is my family, because they're the ones that I've been neglecting recently because of the pandemic. Yeah, recently I'm not able. I'm in Singapore right now, and my family is back in Malaysia. I kind of miss them like a lot. So recently, instead of like calling them weekly, I almost call them like once every 2 days. Like, hey, how are you? Are you okay? So if you ask me this question in during this COVID-19, for sure it's my family.
Exactly. I think that's a bright side of the COVID-19, even though it does affect a lot of people. But in the bright side, we do appreciate how precious time with family is, and also like how precious it is to actually go out to restaurant and dine in, spend time with friends. I'll say a good thing, like even though physically we are drawn further away, but our heart is drawn closer together. So before we end the podcast, do you have any final advices that you want to tell to the woman listening to our podcast, or do you have any quotes that you like to quote on? Yeah.
Mm, yeah, I have two. The first thing is to wrap up about work. Just stay curious at work, because you never know what you will dig out from. It could be surprise for the results sometimes. And the second advice is for yourself. To me, I like to reward myself when I achieve small goals, because since young, my mom liked to give me a hug every time when I finish a task that was given. So I don't see I don't see when after grown up, right, there's no reason to give myself a pat or a hug or a reward when I've done things. Yeah, that's
That's
about
a
all.
that's a very good advice over there. To summarize what we have thought today, Ginie have told us that her biggest challenge is definitely in order to gain like confidence, we should step out of the our comfort zone, and also be always curious about our work, our life, because there is always like some treasure underneath the rainbow, right? So we never know what's out there, and by doing so, maybe we can gain something special. So that's the end of our podcast. If you do like our podcast, remember to like and subscribe our channel, and also stay tuned to our weekly updates on our channel. Thank you. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you.
Thanks, Rachel.
Stay safe. Shouting out for IWA. If you want to empower other ladies or yourself, email us at support@iwa.sg. Do stay tuned for our upcoming podcast every week on our respective channels. Like and subscribe our videos. Ciao!